Hello everybody. I didn't expect making a Transformers video so soon after the Kamen Rider video. However, today decided to be a day where one of the most anticipated figures of this year got leaked. Or well, not really this year. It's gonna come out in like December, January of next year. So, you know. But anyways, what you're staring at on screen is a clip of Optimus Prime from Transformers the movie. And the Transformers Studio Series line back in 2021 did a spin-off where they focused on the 86 film. Now, one of the biggest gaps in the ss86 collection has always been Optimus Prime. However, earlier this year, we got a listing for a ss86 Commander Class Optimus Prime. And, well, now we officially have a leak for it. And to start with this thing, it was an Optimus Prime figure playing the piano. However, what keen-eyed people in the Transformers community, like myself, noticed was that this looks very similar to MP44, the latest masterpiece Optimus Prime, and it looks really good. And then lead to a online store leak, and now we officially have a ton of product photography for this Optimus Prime. Now, we don't know what the box art looks like or how many steps it will be, like how many things you'll have to move to get this from truck mode into robot mode. But as you can see here, it looks so good, and you get a really nice trailer. In my opinion, the Earthrise Optimus was a good figure, just let down by his accessories. This is a good Optimus with good accessories and good overall look to it. And here's his alt mode, and again, looks incredibly good. And much like most Command Class figures, you do get blast effects, which allow you to recreate his absolute iconic entrance into the 1986 film, where he rolls up and starts barreling down Decepticons before launching into the air and transforming and kicking more butt. And as you can barely see the backpack here, but it's enough to tell that this is the leak of the Optimus that was playing the piano if you go all the way back. So, going a few slides ahead, we have him using his Energon axe, which I haven't really seen the ss86 film. Like, I know what happens in it, but I haven't actually sat through and watched the full thing yet. So I have no idea if he does or doesn't use his axe. But still, he looks really good and has a ton of articulation. Like, this thing is superposable from just the few photos we even have. And inside the trailer, you even have Roller, who can hold Optimus's blaster. And you can even see that the little repair drone piece inside the trailer can pop up and use blast effects. And they can even combine just like the original Generation 1 toy. And if I'm being honest, this is so cool, and the reason why I'm dedicating an entire video to this single figure is because not only is it good, but it sets a new precedent for mainline Transformers. And I know this isn't technically mainline, this is more like specialty retail, because Commander classes are not part of the typical product range. If you've been around the Transformers community since around 2019 when Commander Class was introduced, you know what I mean. So it's kind of hard to explain, but if you know, you know. But this just is so cool because it sets a new precedent. Ever since, really about 2020, I would say, is when we've seen Hasbro taking what worked with the Masterpiece line and what didn't work and changing it up and making their own versions. At this point, I'd say many mainline figures are good enough to sub in for Masterpiece akin versions of those characters. For example, earlier last year, I believe, we had ss86 Commander Class Ultra Magnus, and that was basically the Masterpiece MP22 Ultra Magnus, but shrunk down, modified, and improved on. And as part of Hasbro's HasLab campaign, we had Starsaber, who wasn't officially a Commander class figure, but he was around the size of Commander, and he was basically the Masterpiece MP24 Starsaber, but shrunk down and improved on. And we're seeing this again here, where this is basically MP44 Optimus Prime, but shrunk down and improved on. Many people had issues with that Optimus feeling bloated with the amount of accessories, the transformation taking forever and 4 million years, and a few other things. However, this Optimus does not seem to suffer from that. It's got a very streamlined amount of accessories, and it looks like it won't be that much. It doesn't look to be more complex than the already existing Commander class figures. Now, I feel like this figure will drum up a tiny bit of controversy due to the size. We've had this really very strict adherence to scale, especially in Studio Series, and the ss86 Dinobots were big. Like, I'm talking near masterpiece style, big, old leader class, massive. But Commander class, the whole thing is either big Transformers or Transformers with a lot of engineering, and sometimes it's both, sometimes it's one or the other. The first two Commander classes were both really big but had relatively simple engineering. The third Commander class, Optimus Prime, was smaller. Like, he was smaller than even he was around Voyager size, I believe, like modern Voyager. But he had a lot of engineering inside of him and had a lot of parts. Not to mention, he also had a massive trailer. And as we can see, this is likely the same here, where this will be a smaller Optimus, maybe in the Voyager or Modern Leader scale. Not like super big, like Grimlock, but maybe closer to... I'm struggling to think of an example off the top of my head. But either way, no matter what, this will still have tons and tons of engineering inside of it, and the trailer will likely make up for some of that budget. As we can see, it's already pretty massive, being able to stand this figure inside, being able to stand the Optimus Prime inside of it. And on top of that, assuming that this is very similar to the previously mentioned Commander Class Hot Rod from back in Kingdom, I feel like this would have a pull-out drawer so you can store some of those blast effects, specifically, these blast effects. And I did not mean for my thing to break there, but things happen. So yeah, and one interesting thing is that if you notice here, he's holding the blaster on the back. So I genuinely wonder what sort of things you'll be able to do with this. Whether or not we'll see a repaint into, spoiler alert for a nearly 40-year-old movie, a dead Optimus Prime. I feel like that could be a fun Generation Select release. But there's also a lot more they can do with this Prime. Granted, Earthrise got used a lot for a lot of different things. Like, it got turned into technically a dead Optimus Prime. It got turned into Shattered Glass Optimus Prime. It got turned into alternate versions of just the same Optimus that we know and love. However, we never got a proper Nemesis Prime color scheme out of that mold. In fact, the only modern Nemesis Prime that will really scale with anything post-Siege would be the, Siege rendition of the figure. So, yeah, I kind of hope we see more out of this. Like, I don't need, another Shattered Glass or another dead Optimus Prime, but I think generally having like maybe a Nemesis color scheme or some other repaint, like a Ghostbusters Optimus. Back when the first Ghostbusters collab happened in 2019, we saw Masterpiece MP10 Optimus Prime get done up in Ghostbusters colors along with Ectotron. So I think it'd be really funny, especially because like a new film like just came out, is if we see this done up. Another one I think would be interesting if we're sticking to this whole idea of Optimus Prime but collaborative figures would be like, I don't know, Jurassic World, making him like one of the dinosaur transport trucks. That could be interesting, but again, at the end of the day, this is Optimus Prime. This is a really, really cool figure with a lot of complex stuff inside of it. And I want to know what y'all think down in the comments below, whether or not you think that this is worth the Commander Class price, or not, whether you will be picking up this honestly incredible figure, or if you are somewhere in the middle like myself. Because, well, yes, I've been singing the praises of this figure. There are a lot of things I'm concerned about, especially if this ends up more in the MP44 category and not more towards the 86 Ultra Magnus category, where it improves on the design. If this is just a one-to-one translation, it may not be worth it, honestly. But hey, at the end of the day, I am incredibly excited for this, and I want to know what you think down in the comments below. So, I think that's where I'm going to end it, and see you all next time when there is interesting things to be talked about.